Hey, did you play with Amos? Was he there then? 6 years, 7. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Who recruited you?
We're on, bud.
Terry Smith, Coach Huff, Moorhead type.
Yeah.
Mike Shoddy, Mark Lillibridge back at the College Gridiron Showcase here in Fort Worth, Texas.
I'm glad you say that every time. I always say college football showcase. I don't know why I got it in my head.
Well, I'm trained for this.
I know you are. That's why you're the pro.
I'm
You're the
basically
pro.
a monkey
I'm the
that was
football
put
guy.
here to do very little.
Yes.
You talk football, I talk well.
You look good. Yes.
So we're bringing on one of my guys, one of my favorites. We talked to some of your favorites. One of my favorites, Lamont Wade from Penn State. Come on in, Lamont.
I mean, the fact that Lamont, I just want you to understand, so that Shoddy, Mike Brez is the kind of the founder of the Brawl Network.
Yeah.
And he just got booted out of the seat because Shoddy likes you so much. He was like, dude, beat it. I don't care that you started the Brawl Network. This is my guy. I want to sit here. So that's kind of exciting, man. Good for you. Welcome to the College Gridiron Showcase.
Means a lot. Thank you.
I don't even know if I would say I like you that much. I'm a Michigan fan.
Yeah.
I'm just glad you're not in the Big Ten anymore.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. Thank you for coming out.
Thanks.
So tell us a little bit. You are probably at College Gridiron Showcase at CGS. You're probably the most acclaimed high school football player. You were a absolute lights out stud in high school. And I remember watching your Rivals tape and stuff like that. I remember you being recruited. So talk to us a little bit. Let's start there. Talk to us a little bit about that process and what's led you all the way from, 5-star recruit, one of the most highly recruited guys in your class to now you're in CGS.
Yeah, definitely. Playing just at high school, being able to play all over the field, offense, defense, catching passes, all types of stuff. So that's kind of, showcasing, every type of ability there, and then, getting to Penn State, being recruited from Pittsburgh guy, Coach Terry Smith, getting in there and, I went in there at corner, and then I had a transition to safety. And then through that transition with safety, I ended up playing nickel cornerback, so a lot of versatility in the back end. And, like I said, here, talking to you guys.
Now, a lot of guys, when they say had to transition to safety, that's usually like a hip thing, but that's not for you. You're a pretty good nickel cover. You're pretty good. You can man up a little bit. So where is that versatility going to help you in the NFL? Because you can really play probably. I mean, I don't know if I put you outside on like a Calvin Johnson type, but I think you'd at least rough him up a little bit. You can play just about anywhere in the defensive backfield.
I feel like that's my pitch, is that versatility. Because, I excelled at a high level going up against, the top receivers in the country in high school at corner on the outside. And, doing that and playing outside my freshman year. And then, I've played boundary corner, field corner. I've played strong safety, I played free safety, and I've played nickel. And I feel like I've done a pretty good job at each position. So just like I said, that versatility, that part of it, I feel like that's my pitch.
I mean, versatility. If I'm an offensive coordinator and Lamont's on my team, I'm going over and I'm saying I need 2 jet sweeps a game. 2 jet sweeps a game from this guy.
Oh, you want to bring him up on the offensive side, what you're saying?
Just a couple.
Hey, man, every DB wants that too, right? Every DB wants to touch the ball a little bit, right?
I got some returns in too at the end of my career. Scoring. I actually got a touchdown, 103-yard return against Illinois, literally the last game of my senior year. So getting that on film was really good too.
That's huge. Anytime you can write anything, like we've already talked about, I'm sure you were listening to us as we've been here all afternoon, on the Brawl Network. Talking to you about versatility, talking to these players. That's big. The NFL is right. That's a huge thing because you can only dress X amount of guys each week. And so for you, one of the things I love about you is I like your quick feet. I mean, I think that's probably your number one attribute for me. And I think that's going to then excel you and allow you to be able to be versatile at that next level, because you're going to have to, because being 5'9", right? I mean, it's changed. The game is changing now. Right. Like I said, when I was a scout, we always wanted bigger corners, right? It was always hard to kind of get, because you had the bigger receivers, right? I mean, you're going against right now you're going against the DK Metcalfs, right? I mean, so when you have that guy lined up outside, it's hard to have, you want a bigger corner. That's just the way the game has, as we've transitioned to it. But there's also still those guys that have a niche, right? Mike Hinton is an undrafted free agent out of Mississippi that is the best blitz corner from the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's found his niche. He bounced around the NFL a little bit, found his niche, and now he's a stud in the Steelers. And so I think that's, and you know that from being in Pennsylvania. So those are kind of guys that I think for a player like you, that's where I would say emulate that game because you can play some safety, you can play corner, you got to be able to play the slot, you got to be able to cover kicks on, you know, you got to be the gunner on punt, you got to be able to be a jammer on punt return. Those kind of things I think are going to be big for you as you prepare for this, as you're going in for these interviews tomorrow.
Yeah.
What's the thing that you need to prepare, that you need to work on, that a scout's going to tell you, if he's honest with you, he's going to tell you your strengths and weaknesses that he thinks. What do you think your weaknesses that you need to improve on to be able to play on Sundays?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, with that transition to safety, still getting more of a feel for that, just the middle of the field type thing, because you could kind of have a cornerback or a inside the box perspective from being in the middle of the field, but you got to kind of have a whole different perspective. You got to look at it differently. And I'll say that as long as well as, you know, that 10 yards off coverage type thing, you know, and you know, protecting the leverage. So I feel like those two things are, you know, two things that I would definitely say that I can do, but I need to be more consistent at.
I would tell you, I love that. I appreciate that, because one of the things when I'm watching you, I say there are times where I don't feel you trust your eyes. Like I feel like there's times where you know what's happening, but you just don't pull the trigger. And
that's how you describe it.
Okay, and so I think that because there are opportunities, you were very opportunistic, a lot of forced fumbles, a lot of fumble recoveries, but I think there were some times that you left some interceptions on the field because you were just being safe instead of being the ball, you know, the ball hawk that you are at corner. Exactly. Is that correct? Do you believe that?
That's 100% correct. I feel like definitely me, you know, trusting that instinct, and not, you know, second guessing myself for whatever reason. Like how you said, just going all the way whenever, you know, I know what's going on, and having that feel, just getting into that more, honing up to that more. I feel like
was that coaching though, because I felt like Penn State did not have a very opportunistic defense, like from a scheme perspective. Were you taught to play it safe?
Yeah, I mean, and it's like it's funny because we play like a wide array of coverages. So we're not a team who just hones in on one specific coverage. So it's a bunch of different coverages, and I feel like me realizing that, you know, in each different coverages, there's kind of different things that you want to play one coverage like your favorite coverage, but you can't because they're all different coverages. And I feel like me, you know, realizing that would be a part of that. So
do you feel like, will that help you then, you think, though, in the NFL, being able to go in and disseminate and be able to grasp different defenses because you've already kind of been through that?
Yeah, definitely. We play everything from, you know, zone pressure 3s to zone pressure 2s to zone pressure 1s to regular one. Like we have a wide array. So I feel like that definitely helps with, you know, that playbook part of going into the NFL.
Okay, so the other thing what we're going to do is we're going to bring Lamont back on here as we lead up to the draft, and we're going to have you do a breakdown for us, for all our listeners and followers, on what the zone pressure 1, zone pressure 2, zone pressure, because right now we got a bunch of people watching going,
like,
what the heck is he talking about? I have no idea what he just said. It sounded pretty awesome. I just want you to know that. I know what it is, but like for Shoddy, we want you to break it. Yeah, we want you to break it. He's a Michigan guy. So you know what I'm saying? He's not going to get that.
They weren't playing any defense. Let's flip it around though, because we've talked a lot about your time, you know, deep in the defensive backfield. If I knew nothing else about you other than, you know, you spot shadowed on a couple of plays, I would love to put you right on the line of scrimmage, because you are an intense player, but you're also not a very big guy.
Yeah.
So where is the advancing there? Because you're not going to all of a sudden grow 3 inches or don't put on 20 pounds, please, right now. What are you working on so that you can continue to play at the line of scrimmage as a nickel corner, you know, against the run at the NFL level?
I feel like that's what really helped me out is, you know, being at that line of scrimmage more, because me being a corner, you know, most of my life, I'm used to, you know, that press coverage and that physicality that I use. I feel like my physicality, using my hands, you know, getting off blocks and being able to jam and reroute those different type of things. I feel like that, bringing that to the table, I feel like that is something that, you know, the line of scrimmage, and I can see off your route with, you know, that helps me win the rep. So
I feel like in the run game, people trying to block you was just silly. It was not effective.
Yeah, I feel like people kind of, you know, underestimate because they see 5'9", and they don't see that aggression always. But I'm very aggressive, I'm very physical, and I don't like to be blocked at all. So I kind of take pride in that.
Well, one of the last thing I'll say before we get Lamont out of here is the one thing that I always love, and I'm a big firm believer of what other people on that team say about a player. Okay. The simple fact that your leadership qualities were what they were at a huge university like Penn State speaks volumes to who you are as a man. And so no matter what happens on the football field, what you can do off the field because of your leadership ability and because of you've held yourself to a higher standard, that means a lot to me. I appreciate that for you doing that. Continue that. Make sure these teams know that as well, right? Because there's something to be said about when your teammates look up to you and you were the leader of not only that secondary, but you were the leader of that defense, you know, for the last 2 years. That's a big deal.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Definitely.
We'll end on a slightly lighter note.
Okay.
That was good stuff. But I know my other co-host, Emily, is a huge music person. She former DJ. I know you're a music guy too.
Yeah.
So what are your pregame jams?
Pre-game, I listen to a lot of Young Boy, and Lil Durk, and it's a new artist, Pooh Shiesty. He kind of just came in the game, but yeah, those are a few artists that I get.
Oh yeah, three of my favorites too. As you can tell, as you can probably tell.
I mean, you know, need to tag him on Twitter. Blow it
me
up.
and Young Boy, man, we hang out, man. We swag on the corner.
You're old man.
We poured out
Young Boy, old man.
We poured out some 40s on the corner for our dead homies. We have, me and Young Boy. Yes, we have.
So let's get you out of here, Lamont. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. God bless, brother.
Same to you.
You bet, man. Nice job.
Appreciate it.
So that was Lamont Wade, cornerback, safety, all around just man from Penn State. When I saw him accept the invite to CGS, when I saw even that he got an invite, I was excited because this is a guy that Penn State's not been a great football team for a while, but he's been a great player.
Aaron giving a shout out. Aaron Henderson, of course, giving a shout out to Penn State. All right. Oh, there you go. Got a coach shout out. Look at this. That's what football's about, right? Shotty's in the middle of trying to get this wrap up. You got dudes in the back screaming out like fans, crowd. We miss that, man. I'm cool with that, Aaron.
Can we get
That's
security?
That's the locker room.
Security?
That's the locker room right there, man. Don't matter, right? I mean, it's just let's go. I love it. That's great. So yeah, Lamont is that. That's the other thing that I love about this. Okay, again, no East-West, no NFLPA, there's no other really all-star games. We're here sitting at the College Gridiron Showcase. We got big time players, man. You're talking about Big 12 guys. You're talking about SEC guys. You're talking about Pac-12. I mean, it's the top guys are coming to this because they want that opportunity. Here's one thing I love about football. Okay, it's the #1 sport in the world because you can take a fat guy and he's got a home. You can take a small guy and he's got a spot, right? I mean, if you're in the NBA, all those guys have to have 3 or 4 or 5 tools, right? You have to all be, if you're 6'7" or if you're 6'4", you got to know how to dribble, you got to know how to shoot, you got to know how to defend, you got to be able to do everyone has a lot of the same skill sets. It doesn't mean they're the same player, same skill set. He doesn't have to worry, Lamont Wade doesn't have to worry about blocking somebody, right? He doesn't have to worry about throwing a pass. You need all these, a different conglomerate of people to win a championship. So you need guys like that, but then you can take small school guys, big school guys, but and win championship. And so you got a guy like that who has a pedigree, a big school pedigree, and he comes into some of this because he wants to compete. I don't care what level you are. As a human being, if you want to win every day, you step up and compete. When you wake up, you go. I don't care if it's at the showcase, if it's tying my shoes, if it's going down and get a drink, as whatever else, I want to win that. I want to go do my best to win that day. And so for him to come and say, a lot of these dudes could say, I'm at Penn State. I'm going to have a pro day. I'm going to win, right? I don't need to go to Fort Worth, Texas, and go to Farrington Field and hang out with the Brawl Network and do some showcase. I could rest on my laurels and say they're going to come find me.
Well, let's say this: if Lamont Wade, and he's already walked away, so I don't have to worry about him hearing this. If he was 6 inches taller, he'd be a 3rd-round pick. Period.
Okay.
Playing the way that he played at Penn State, he'd be a 3rd-round pick. But we're talking about a guy who may struggle to get drafted. Even the fact that he had a really great collegiate career, was a 5-star recruit. But once you're in the league, it doesn't matter where you were drafted.
Nope, it doesn't.
And I think once he's on a football field, it doesn't matter if he's a 3rd-round pick or a 6th-round pick or not a pick at all. He's going to shine in the NFL. Well,
and one thing I loved about it right there is that, I mean, I'm not going to say I was harsh to him, but I gave him reality, right? And I told him what I thought about his instincts and things like that, where he didn't pull the trigger and didn't make the plays. And I loved his response.
He knew.
He was like, that's right. You're 100% correct. That is exactly the way that I am. That will serve him well and bode him well, because the guys that can't take coaching never make it. Guys that can take coaching and say, you know what, it might hurt my ego, it might piss me off, but I'm going to then prove it to you. Those guys are the Michael Jordans. Those guys have become the champions because they don't want to be wrong twice.
All right, we're going to get out of here. We're going to come right back here at the College Gridiron Showcase, brought to you by the Brawl Network. We're powered by Manscaped and DraftKings.